can we use F word in this podcast? That would be
I think let's do it. If the algorithm wants to fuck me over.
You started with the F word.
We'll figure it out later.
Welcome to Unlearning Out Loud, the podcast where you may end up with more questions than answers and where things may go wrong, but it's okay. Our aim is just to start. Just hit record, okay? That was my goal.
Okay, that's your goal today. Okay. So what do you want to achieve today?
I think we just have a conversation about some things that are interesting to us, what has maybe been pertinent or topics that come up in our friendship. Just to give some context, Rachel is my best friend and she's a certified financial planner and an author. Oh my God.
It is amazing.
If I think about our friendship, like where we started, I wasn't even a master's holder at that time. And you didn't have your CFP at the time either.
And I remember I was sitting for my exam and it's so hard. And I made my sister promise that if I ever say that I'm going to sit for an exam again, and she's going to slap me. She's going to slap me. You were there. You were there. And here I am doing my master in personal financial management.
It's pretty amazing just how life has brought us to where we are. And of course, many of these things are not planned. We just kind of fell into it. It's like, oh, opportunity, just do, you know? And I think one of the things I definitely learned from you is that we can never be truly prepared. So when the opportunity comes, just do it. Just say yes first, right?
Say yes.
I think a large part of even me doing this podcast is that you can always delete it. You can always archive. You can always edit it. If you don't like it, you can change your mind, but just do first.
Yes.
Yeah, I think I definitely grew up in a situation where I want to get it right. I did definitely overthink a lot. And I always wanted to make sure, I have all my ducks in a row so that I don't waste time, I don't waste money. But then you end up still wasting time and opportunity, right? Yeah.
I come from a very different background. Like the bar was pretty low for me. So whatever I do from now onwards, I know it is already exceeded what I myself have visions for myself.
Yeah.
My family have expected of me, though that bar is also very low. In that sense, it removed that barrier for me to be perfect. What is perfect? I think I learned it together with you. We keep on reaffirming each other that we will never be ready.
Yeah.
Okay. Everybody have a different definitions of what success is. So it's perspective. I think in our friendship, many times we provide perspective for each other. It's always fascinating for me to learn how people can look at the same thing with a different lens.
Yes. So I'm somebody who I don't like to wear makeup, and I never grew up really wearing makeup. It's really only for special occasion. And I because my family value education and intellect very much, so we like Barbie dolls and makeup and buying nice dresses. These were all things that were deemed to be very vain and therefore not valuable.
Whereas my family, we grew up by telling each other that you're so pretty, you know? Are you being pretty enough? And that is like the standard, you know, to live up. Whereas I think, I know that I'm not ugly, but I also learned from very young age. I am not the prettiest and not the tallest. Therefore, I will try to win them with my intelligence and wittiness. But coming back to the makeup thing.
Yeah, Rachel had been trying to persuade me at the time to put on more makeup, especially my eyebrows, because I have very, very light eyebrows. We were at a friend's birthday party and there was a picture, and after looking at the photo, she said, "Tell me how this photo can be better." And my first thought was, actually my smile looks so nice in this photo. I guess I bring this up to reiterate the point that you said earlier, which is that two people can look at the same thing and have such a different experience and, you know, perspective about the same thing. So I think we are in our friendship always giving a different viewpoint. Actually, I feel that I gain a lot of courage from you. Yeah, to not overthink so much. Do first, edit later. Yeah, I think this is one of the really valuable things that I pick up from you. You know, now I'm starting on this journey of being an entrepreneur, being a business owner.
Oh my God. So trying to convince her for so many years.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I realized that at the end of the day, no matter how many good ideas you have, it is really about your execution. And of course, you are not the only one to have said that. So many videos and you know, authors that I've listened to, business owners, at the end of the day, it's how fast can you be to execute, right? So it's not about having the most brilliant idea. It's actually the one who is going to be the most skillful. It's the artist who has painted 100 pictures already and you still struggling to do your first one. So I think that's something very valuable that I pick up from you. Like this obsession with trying to get it right and not make any mistakes. That's just impossible.
Because you know what? There's so many people out there doing things immorally unethical, and they have wins, and then they have money, and it doesn't make sense that two intelligent, successful women couldn't go out there and do it, because seriously, the bar is so low, so low. When I started writing my book, and I started telling people that I'm writing my book, I don't let my disbelief hold me back. I do not know how am I going to publish it, but I know that the book has to come out first.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Before I think about the next steps. When I work with my client, the CFP training actually prepare us to write a full financial proposal to talk about 30 years of our client life. And that is part of our exam. That is the entire final module. Prepare an entire financial proposal to tell my client what to do in the next 20, 30 years to prepare them for their retirement. But in practice, this is too overwhelming. This is too scary. It doesn't help my client. I realized that if I just give them very clear, specific 3 steps, come back to me, do these 3 homeworks and come back to me next, and I'll tell you what to do next. Not because I do not have all the answer, because so many things will change in between. And if you can't take the first step or the second steps, there will not be 100 steps. And as you walk, you realize that there's so many new opportunities rise up, so many new challenges rise up. So just take that, just do it. Take that first step, and then we perfect it along the way. I think I have my late father to thank for this mindset, you know, to take that fear out of my dictionary. And that is very profound to me.
Yeah, I think for me, it's to be afraid and still do it anyway. Like even doing this podcast, I'm doing it all wrong, okay? Based on all the books and whatever I have read, people are always saying, you should have 10 to 15 episodes up front. You know what I did? I just pressed record and I recorded some 3-minute thing and I just put it out there and just tell people I've started a podcast. Okay, like that's what I did.
Right, because I don't want to do video. I don't want to think about the technical obstacle. I want to do what is easy and I can do. But this woman has a different approach, and I just trust. I just trust. I don't like how I look in front of the camera. I don't, what the hell, you know? But if she say do it, okay? And she's the smarter one. She thinks she's the smarter one. Let her solve this problem, okay? I can't do this all on my own. She probably can't do this all on her own as well. That's why we team up.
Yeah. I mean, this is not a perfect setup, okay? Like it is really, it's not. I could spend a lot of money, and I already did all the research when I look at all the podcast mic and all the camera angle, blah, 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 whatever. At the end of the day, I was like, you know what? If I keep obsessing and thinking about how to do it right, I will never get started, or I would fail after 8 episodes. Apparently, that's the typical thing. Okay, people don't publish more than 8 episodes. Whatever the goal is, just do it.
Just do it.
Yeah, just do it. And of course, I think one of the very valuable things also that I learned from you is, if you don't like it, you can always change your mind. You know, if this is working, just go hard for it. If you don't like it, change it or stop it. You can walk away from this anytime if you decide that it's not for you. But I think I would always regret not doing it. So just do first lah.
I think we are always our harshest critics. And I have this inner bitchy voice in me that counters it. If anybody's going to come and tell me that I'm not good enough, or say that this could be doing better or whatever, then the inner bitchy voice will just say, have you done it? Because I know I published a book. I know we did this podcast, you know. Who are you to judge?
Yeah.
And if people who judge it or say anything often are people who have never done it
It's so
before.
true. It's so true. We do a lot of things in other communities as well. And everybody loves to give their feedback. And we are totally open to feedback. And at the same time, at the end of the day, if you're asking us to do more, why don't you do it? Sometimes we will say it out loud and sometimes we don't because we're just like, thank you for your feedback. You know, that's the extent because people just want to say what they want to say. You know, they want to give you their ideas. But are you willing to put in the work? Right? Are you willing to do what it takes to make things happen? And in our friendship, we know that we can get shit done. Okay, that's
Very
number one.
fast.
We can get shit done. I take a long time to decide if I want to do something, but once I decide, I'm very quick, you know, to move, and things happen very quickly for us. We also have this understanding about our capacity because sometimes, like, she probably had this dream to write a book, I don't know, 10 years ago, but you were not ready at that time, right? When the time was right, when it was the season, then you made it happen, right? So we kind of have an understanding also, okay, some things, they are just a dream for now, and some things are a goal. And I think this is also one of the key things that you taught me when I first started working with you on my finances. Can you tell the audience the difference between what's a financial dream versus a financial goal?
Financial dream. So when a client comes to me, I always ask them, what do you want to achieve? And most of the times they say, I want to be richer. I want to buy a house. I want to retire early. So this to me are financial dream because they are very vague. And I'm very specific that this is financial dream. Financial goal will sound like this. Instead of saying, I want to be rich, it will sound like, I want to have 3 millions in 10 years time. Okay, that's a very tangible amount and a specific timeline that attached to it. Or I want to own a 2 million bungalow in 3 years time in PJ. What is rich? Is 300,000 rich or 3 million is it rich? If you want to achieve this amount in 3 years and 10 years or 20 years are very different strategy. If you want to own a bungalow in Malaysia, in PJ, is very different than owning a bungalow in Kelantan or in Indonesia or in New York. So be very specific.
Yeah, I think the specificity is really important, and I didn't realize how much this impacted me until I think at least 5 years later. I was doing an exercise in my company at that time, and everybody was just asked to go around and put out what are your dreams, what are your goals. And I put I want to be traveling 25% of the year, and this is the amount I want to be making every year. I was the only one who had a number and a target date for that. So I think sometimes we can get caught up. If you don't specify what your goal is, then the goalposts will keep moving. Or it will just be very vague and you never feel a sense of accomplishment. You never feel that you actually have arrived. And that's something to be proud of because you didn't define actually what is rich. There's one more thing that I had wanted to talk about, which we haven't covered, which is about having a different persona. I think this is really important. I think it's so powerful. Because at the time that I started working with Rachel, these things were just too far away from me. I couldn't imagine that I could live this life, that I could be this person, that I could own this vision. No matter which coaching program you go for, a lot of them will ask you to put together a vision board of some kind. This is the kind of life that you want to have. And actually, one of our friends who's a new client of Rachel's, she asked her to draw it, you know, what is the life that you visualize? You know, do you remember this story, like how it started with me?
Oh, with you. So I think I think at the beginning of our friendship changed, right? At the beginning of our friendships, we're dreaming. Okay. Of course, it comes with sharing frustrations about our current life. And then I realized that this woman didn't dream big enough. I'm a dreamer, but I'm also very goal-oriented. I realized that she doesn't have a very clear dream other than maybe want to get married. Okay. Which I will tell you why. Because when you attach your dream or your goal to somebody else, you do not have control to realize that that person, whoever that you attach this goal with, have to share the same visions and move forward with you if you want to turn your dream into reality. If you just want to keep dreaming, okay, that's another story, right? If you want to like fantasize to be with a celebrity, okay, those are allowed as well, okay? I'll approve that, okay? But if you really want to achieve something, you want to turn your dream into reality, I think it is easier if you do not rely on a third party to help you to realize your goal, your dream. You need to own your dream. Therefore, when I realized this of her, I start to challenge her. If you study a master to become counseling, then it only makes sense to me that you want to practice. So I start pushing her to dream of her own practice and where it will be. What does this office going to be like? What is a day of this successful, happy versions of patients going to be like? And then we were like, okay, we're gonna have this practice in Bangsa where it's gonna start
Ground floor.
ground floor, Bangsa. So we start to put more details into this dream of her, not even me, okay? And then we start naming a persona. I say that, okay, it's going to be P Chen, you need to channel the inner P Chen of you. What will P Chen wear? What kind of day would P Chen leave? What kind of clients? So we start calling this P Chen as if this P Chen is a real person and like, we want to be P Chen, that kind of things. And it becomes infectious. We have a few friends that we kind of have persona for them. We start naming that. We have lots of fun with this persona that we created. But I am just going to share a secret here. I am leaving the inner persona of myself. Rachel Liew is my persona. I don't like my given name because there's so many unpleasant memories attached to it, where these versions of Rachel in the past was not celebrated. I was not happy with that versions of myself. I come from these small towns where I'm frustrated about things because I'm so alienated from everybody else. I'm just different and I don't feel belong and they do not understand me. I feel very lonely. So I stop using that name the moment I get out of this small town. I make people call me Rachel and I start living the inner Rachel of me. And I don't even, at that point, nobody even tell me this is persona. I just kind of rebranded myself at the age of 18. But Rachel has become a brand. I am forming this brand. This brand keeps changing. There are many versions, different stage of my life. People see different versions of Rachel, but this Rachel is not the original Rachel. This is an inner persona. So I'm going to challenge you out there, what is your inner persona? And you can have so many persona. If P Chen is this kick-ass counselor that have her own practice in Bangsa, maybe there can be another versions of P Chen that is a tai, living a stay at home, have children, cook, But it starts with dream, putting more details in it, and act on it. Fucking act on it and leave your inner persona.
This is part 1 of a 3-part conversation that I have with Rachel. Part 2 will delve a little bit more into personal finance, understanding the difference between cash flow and net worth. How quickly should you pay off your student loans? And how exactly do credit cards work? Hope you enjoyed this episode. If this resonated with you, please leave a comment, like and subscribe to my channel, and stay tuned for parts 2 and 3.